This week on BG24 Sports, after a weekend sweep, one Falcon sport is now nationally ranked. We'll go into how the hockey team is making headlines.
Plus, basketball season is finally underway. We'll go over the men's and women's weekend games.
And men's soccer is in. We'll talk about the upcoming MAC tournament for the guys. All this and more coming up right here on BG24 Sports.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Katie Warnke.
And I'm Terry Lash. The hockey team competed in a series sweep against Alaska this past weekend. The guys took game one by a score of 3-2, and the second game ended with the same score. With the wins, Bowling Green moves into the national eye. Falcons received a number 19 ranking in the country this week. That's
right. Now let's look at some of the weekend stats that got them that ranking. The offense added again with 6 total goals, 2 by Mark Cooper, and Friday Matt Polkamp scored the game winner. The stats are pretty even across the board from there though. Close in total shots and saves. It was an even match throughout the series, but the Falcons were able to pull out the wins. Now Terry, let's talk about this team. They're 7-2-1, 5-1 in the conference. I mean, what is it about these guys?
They just have it all. They have it offensively, they have it defensively. 4 WCHA teams ranked in the top 20. This is no longer a conference that can be looked down upon. It's one of the best in the country. 20% of the top 20 teams are from the WCHA. Falcons, second in the conference. This is a great team that you can be excited about.
It absolutely is. You look at some of these offensive scores too. I mean, we'd seen a lot from Kevin Dufour early on, but now we're starting to see some stuff from some other guys. Matt Polkamp scored. Ben Murphy finally coming out of the woodwork and making some goals for the Falcons. Mark Cooper. So it's a great offensive core that this team is starting to build up. And Tommy Burke, what a solid weekend for the goalie. He was in the game Friday and Saturday. He was outstanding for the team.
Absolutely. WCHA Defensive Player of the Week, great weekend by Burke. And moving on, one of those guys we've seen a lot that we mentioned has been Kevin Dufour, the forward for the Falcons. And reporter Claudia Seibert takes a look at how he got his start in the game.
Kevin Dufour is having amazing success on the ice. So far this season, the forward leads the nation in goals with 8 and already has 3 power plays, which ties him for the lead. He credits the start of his hockey career to his mom.
When I was 5 years old, my mom got me to play hockey, so that's pretty much it. My dad never played hockey, so I'd say my mom.
Coming from Quebec City, Quebec, Dufour says it was assistant coach Ty Eigner that persuaded him to come to Bowling Green.
He saw me in Quebec, so he kind of like talked to me about the program and stuff, and he's the reason why I came here.
Before Bowling Green, Dufour played in the Central Canada Hockey League for a year, which he says was also the work of Eigner. He was named the team MVP of the Carleton Place Canadians and also played in the All-Star game. Dufour says his Bowling Green team has great chemistry.
We're kind of like a family, you know, like everybody's like always together. Like you don't have like little like groups, it's everybody together. We come to practice together, we work out together. It's the same thing on the ice, we always have fun.
Head coach Chris Bergeron talks about the offensive tear Dufour has been on.
He wants to score goals, he's come here as an offensive guy, and things are happening for him pretty good right now.
Despite having amazing talent, Dufour was very humble when talking about what makes him successful.
Dedication, or like try to work hard, you know, so I don't know, like listen to the coaches and stuff throughout the year, you know, just listening to the tips and trying to get better.
For BG24 Sports, I'm Claudia Seibert.
Dufour leads the nation with 9 goals and will be back on the ice against Ohio State this weekend. Now after the break, we'll go over the men's and women's basketball highlights and what we expect for their upcoming season. So stay with us. The women's basketball season started off on Friday night against Davis and Elkins. Miriam Justinger started the game and scoring off with a 3 from the corner for the Falcons. She finished the contest with 7 points. The Falcons showed off their inside game when they had Abby Seifker on the low block for an easy layup. Seifker had 8 points in the contest. Then it was Jasmine Matthews showing off her range. She finished the night with 2 triples and 9 points. The Falcons were rolling along all game long. Falcons were led by Erica Donovan, who had 15, and got contributions off the bench from Sarah Bear, who had 7. Falcons won the game 88-36.
And men's basketball was up against Notre Dame College in their exhibition game under new coaching with Chris Jans. Sophomore Zach Denny, who sat out most of last year with an injury, making a statement this season, scoring 9 for the Falcons to start off the year. Now the defense proved strong for the team, the Falcons holding a lead for the majority of the game. And then comes transfer Javon Austin. He has a nice behind-the-back move, turn into a layup for 2 and then some. It was a good effort from the guys. Bowling Green goes on to win 88-64. Now, Terry, what can you think it's a good sign for this men's team? I mean, they finished 12-20 last year under Coach Orr. New coach, new players. What do you think is going to happen this year?
Okay, there's a lot of optimism with the basketball team. Of course, you mentioned Coach Jans coming from a successful program in Wichita State, that they want to build that winning program here in Bowling Green, something that the basketball program has been missing in years past. But now, finally, there has just, with all their players returning, we got a lot of transfers from junior colleges. Really interesting to see where the basketball team's going to go. I
agree, and like you said, adding those transfers to an already stronger, more veteran team per se. You have Rashawn Holmes, who's back, Spencer Parker. I think Coach Jans is going to turn this basketball program around I don't know if it'll be pretty fast, but I think he'll definitely turn it around this year for sure.
I know Javon Clark was already quoted as saying they plan on winning the MAC East this year, and they don't have any lower expectations of that. So you got to love the confidence from the guys.
Absolutely. I think that's something that's good to see in this young team now. And what about women's basketball, Terry?
Oh, women's basketball team, of course, a powerhouse. I know they were picked second in the MAC East this year, but I don't think you can handle them that quickly.
I completely agree. It should be a good season for women's basketball, though.
Now moving on to the pitch from the hardwood, men's soccer secured a spot in the MAC tournament with a win this weekend. The guys took down NIU 2-1. Max Alden and Joe Sullivan scored the winning shots. NIU had 9 total shots, but only 2 on goal. Now with the win, Bowling Green moves to 2-1 in the MAC, putting them 4th place in the conference.
Now, Terry, this men's soccer team, there was talk that they weren't even going to make this MAC tournament, and now they're in. What do you think the key to that is?
Well, they started slow, but they're kind of a team of destiny, Katie. 3 straight wins in overtime. It just seems like a team that just struggled last year. This year, put it all together with scoring, of course, first with Pat Flynn, now with Max Alden. It seems like the Falcons are on a crash course of Akron in that MAC tournament.
Absolutely. They got some of their wins later on in their conference wins later on in the season. They ended up 2-2-1. Below Akron, 4-1-0, and then West Virginia, who's 3-1-1. It should be a good tournament for the Falcons. Like you said, Max Alden is up there in the scoring with 5 goals. Joe Sullivan is also up there in offense with 5 goals for the Falcons. So I think if they can keep that offense going and keep that defense strong as well, they could get pretty far. I mean, they're 13-5-1 overall in the regular season.
They've definitely got hot at the right time. It may not be as popular as its ice counterpart, but the BG Roller Hockey League has been successful over the past few years. Reporter Toby Fleming went to see what the sport was all about.
When the puck drops on Sunday afternoons at the old street hockey rink in Bowling Green City Park, players from all over Northwest Ohio come to play in the BG Roller Hockey League. The league was founded 3 years ago by Adam Kazala and Billy Sealing.
We try to create a situation where it imitates ice hockey as much as possible, and I think players really enjoy that. We usually hover around 5 to 6 teams, and we would love to see that number increase.
Although the league charges the players a fee to play, it is not out to make a profit. Also, goalies always play for free, and player Josh Mack says camaraderie among the players is great.
Everyone's helpful, giving you tips how to, be better, and, everyone's pretty friendly out here, so with every game you get better at it, and just once you're hooked, it's hard to go away.
This weekend marked the last day of the 2014 season, with Team Sauce playing the Wolfpack in the final for the Sanderson Memorial Cup. The Wolves won the game 4-3, and defenseman Adam Rader won the cup his 2nd time.
I think I was gonna get it again, but it's a good season. I'm glad we got it again. I mean, can't make NHL, so this is the closest I can get to it, and coming out here and playing, it's really nice.
The Bowling Green Roller Hockey League will resume play in April of 2015. Reporting for BG24 Sports, I'm Toby Fleming.
For more information on the teams and the league, check out the Bowling Green Roller Hockey League Facebook page. When we come back, Perrysburg and Bowling Green both moved on in high school playoffs. We'll go over the weekend and where we think the teams will end up. Welcome back. The swim and dive team remains undefeated after a weekend away. The Falcons took down Oakland and previously unbeaten Eastern Michigan in a very close finish. The women won 8 events on the day, and first-year swimmer Estella Davis took 3 individual wins. Bowling Green moves to a 3-0 overall record and 2-0 in the MAC. Now, Katie, what do you think about the swimming and diving team?
I think it's been a great start for the Falcons this year. They are 3-0. Like you had said, Eastern Michigan was unbeaten. They were first in the MAC. And this team is just absolutely outstanding. Estella Davis, she has 3 individual wins on the weekend. And then she had one win with the relay team. And then Victoria Griffin, she's a sophomore. She is continuing her domination in the freestyle races with 2 wins so far. It's a very young swimming team with a few core veterans that are really, I guess, they're helping out that younger team. What about the diving, though, Terry?
Well, they're a young team, but they're working on their flips that are just being put in. And I think that the swimming team is going to help them progress throughout the season.
Absolutely, I agree.
And now moving on over to high school football, we have a couple of local teams that were in action as Perrysburg and Bowling Green both competed on Friday night, both getting victories. Katie, talk about those Perrysburg Jackets.
It was a huge win. I could go on for days about Perrysburg. It was a huge win against Massillon, 56-7. It was a running clock. You look at Gus Dimmerling. He had over 300 rushing yards. The Jackets forced 4 turnovers. They held Massillon to 280 yards. And now Massillon's quarterback, sophomore year, Danny Clark, Ohio State has already he's already committed to Ohio State to play for them when he goes to college. And he was just shut down by this Perrysburg defense. I cannot say enough about Gus Dimmerling. They go on and they play Macedonia this coming week, who is an 11-0 team. It should be a very tough game for them. But I said it last week, if you cannot shut down Gus Dimmerling, then you cannot shut down Perrysburg.
Yeah, he's pretty fantastic, Katie. He had tons of total yards just by himself. But also in action this week was Bowling Green, the Bobcats, in the playoffs for the first time since 2000, and they took it to Medina Buckeye. They absolutely destroyed them, winning 48-7, and it was an offensive effort by Devin Garcia and David Espin on the ground as well. Devin Garcia with 3 touchdowns, David Espin 102 yards, 384 total yards for the Bobcats. Also got to add Ryan Emmons in there. He had 192. This is the most wins the Bobcats have had since 2007. First time they've gotten to the second round of the playoffs since that magical 2000 year. And Katie, do you think they have a shot against Toledo Central Catholic?
It's going to be a very tough game against Central Catholic. You saw Central Catholic really came out this first week in the playoffs, scored 70 points on the board. It's going to be a very tough game. Central Catholic has a really strong offense, and I think it'll be a tough game, but I guess we'll find out on Friday, right?
They play on the field.
Yep, absolutely. Now, after the break, it's Around the Studio and a rematch from last week between Terry and Juan. Stay with us. Welcome to Around the Studio. How this works, I pick a topic. There will be 45 seconds on the clock. The best answer gets the points, and at the end, we'll see who the winner is. We have Juan Pimiento joining us today. Juan and Terry battling it out again. Remember, Juan won last week, so we'll see how Terry gets his revenge this week. I hope you guys are ready for this. Now, what are your predictions for Wednesday night against Kent State? Will football make the trip to Detroit and secure a spot in the MAC championship?
Absolutely they will, Katie. MAC championship bound are the Bowling Green Falcons. For the second year in a row, the Falcons are going to go to Detroit. The Kent State Golden Flashes are a mockery of a football team in the MAC East and the MAC Conference in general. Don't have a single conference win on the season. One lowly win against Army University. There is no chance they can slow down the high-powered Falcon attack.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I agree with you, Terry Lash. I'm just going to warn the Falcons now, do not overlook Kent State, because I know Toledo's looming. Toledo's coming next week. But you have to take care of business this week against Kent State, because the ultimate goal is to retain the MAC championship. Be careful. The defense has been showing up lately. I don't think there's any doubt. We're going to go back to the MAC championship.
All right, Terry, you got it. One win against Army is not enough to keep the Falcons out of the MAC championship. Now, how far will men's soccer go in the MAC tournament?
All the way to the championship. I said it last week. If we beat Wright State and we beat NIU, we're going to carry momentum. We have a 4-game winning streak, 3 of them in overtime. And I think that's a recipe for success when you have momentum coming to a short tournament and you have the leading scorer in the conference. And like I said last week, we're going to carry that all the way to the championship, even if it's at Akron, and Akron is the #1 seed. I believe in this team. Again, we're going to come in like a house of fire and take the trophy home.
Juan, I'll raise you one. I see your MAC Tournament Championship game, and I say a MAC Tournament Championship victory for the Falcons. This is a team of destiny. I have been convinced these last 3 games, all overtime victories. The odds of that are astronomical for the Falcons, but it seems like time and time again they've proven that they're going to the ship.
That's what I said, Terry. Thanks for agreeing.
Terry, again, you get this one. Sorry, Juan, but I don't know if you mentioned a victory in that team, in that championship game there. Now, the women are 3-0 so far in the pool. Will swim and dive go undefeated in the regular season?
No, unfortunately, no. And this is a great team, and it's been led by 3 very good swimmers so far, in Victoria Griffin, Stella Davis, and Victoria Carrillo. Unfortunately, the Achilles heel of this squad is the diving team. It's a brand new program with brand new swimmers who most of them don't even have a diving background. It's going to be a learning process this season, and the growing pains can end up costing the team an eventual victory against other teams like Eastern Michigan and Buffalo, and against non-conference opponents. Yes, we have the swimming is very strong, but the diving, when it comes down to a very close matchup, could end up costing us a matchup.
Okay, negative Norman. The diving team, yes, they are inexperienced. You're completely right. But they have a lot of talent. We have gymnasts coming over to this diving team. There's just so much potential to be had.
All right, Juan, you get that one. Like you said, they're strong in the pool, but they're not so strong in diving yet. I think that will cost them later on. Now, on to hockey. We know the team is one of the best in the land, but is Kevin Dufour a top player in the nation?
No, to say that I think it's hyperbole. Yes, he has one of the most goals in the nation with 10 goals in 10 games. That's outstanding. That's unbelievable. But we're talking about a player, and a player is more than just goals. We're talking about assists and other factors. When it comes to total points, there's about 25 players in the nation who have more points and have a better average than Kevin Dufour. Again, unbelievable season so far, but to say that he's one of the top, he's not even the top player overall in the WCHA. So I think top in the nation, too much, good, not quite that good.
Of course he's one of the top players. Are you getting mad at Kobe Bryant because he's not pulling down 10 rebounds? Of course not. Kevin Dufour scores. It's what he does, and he does it better than anyone else in the country.
Terry, you get this one. I agree. Kevin Dufour, great player. He should be top in the nation. Terry, the floor is yours.
Oh, it's good to be back, Katie. Finally back in the victory circle after last week's abomination of a defeat. I'd like to thank my partner Juan over there for competing against me, but there was no match for Terry Lash this week. It is back in the rightful home of the victory.
All right, well, good job, Terry and Juan. Thanks for joining us again, Juan. Now, when we come back, we'll have a weekend recap of the scores and our pick for Game of the Week. Stay with us. Welcome back. Here is your weekend recap. Women's and men's basketball both getting wins in their exhibition games. Hockey also taking both games in the series against Alaska.
And soccer's heading to the MAC tournament after a conference win. Volleyball lost to Northern Illinois, and men's golf finished in 6th at the Kainalapi Invitational in Hawaii.
And now looking ahead to this week, our Game of the Week. I mean, what other game can we pick when football has a chance to seal the deal to get to the MAC championship? The Falcons taking on MAC rival Kent State at home Wednesday night. Kent coming in at 1-8 on the season. The Falcons at 6-3. So I got the giggles now, Terry. I'm not sure why. You can go ahead with this one.
But Bowling Green spread out offensively between rushing and passing yards. Kent State a little low on the rushing end of things with just 85 yards per contest. Now, Katie, do you think this will be an easy win for the Falcons?
I mean, I think it will be. You look at this Falcons team, they are very solid on the season. We've talked about James Knappe and his struggles so far. But, I mean, going up against Kent State, who's 1-8, how can... I feel like how can you not almost? What do you?
You're right. It all looks like it's all going for the Falcons, but you can look over any opponent, especially one with the gravity of a MAC championship berth on the line.
I completely agree, but let's hear what head coach Dino Babers and offensive lineman Alex Huddle have to say about this.
It's easy to focus on them with one win because they've been in every game, just like DJ said. So, I mean, right now it doesn't seem like anybody's overlooking them, but we're going to go out there and we're going to prepare like they're undefeated team, you know, because everything rides on this game right now.
We're looking at it like this is our opportunity to clinch the East. We just came off of a very difficult game with Akron. We put ourselves in a very positive situation. And now that we've put in all that hard work after that 17-day, 16-day bye, we need to finish the job. And we need to go out and play well. We respect Kent. We understand how well they are. They've gone through some times, but they've been very competitive in all their football games.
Remember, that game is at 8 p.m. at the Doit on Wednesday. Now, that is all for BG24 Sports today. Follow us on Twitter for Falcon scores and news.
And check us out on Facebook for videos from today's show. I'm Terry Lash.
And I'm Katie Warnke. Have a great night.